These are the best weapons, runes, and gadgets in LEGO Fortnite Expeditions. There's a lot to talk about today, so make sure that we're listening to every single word that I say, because talking about the best weapons, gadgets, and runes can get very confusing very quickly because they're pretty advanced as far as the combinations that you want to use. Let's start off with the basics. Now, this is using Shadow Caller, who's probably who everybody is using. Now, some of the best runes that you would look for is ability damage, but you want it to be stacked. So these daggers that I have 50% damage twice, which is going to give me a 100% damage boost. So when I'm using Shadow Caller, even the base ability, I'm going to do a lot of damage. And for those Shadow Caller players, or those looking to get even more ability power out of their usage, you want to also be finding the strike gadgets. Now, the tanker strike gadget is by far the best, but you can see that adding all three of these will then do 129 additional damage when using all three of those, as well as the double stack dagger abilities. Switching and taking these off, you can see that your powers are as little as 165 total damage, but as high as over 429. So you could do a load of damage while using these weapons, as long as you have the gem dual daggers equipped, as well as all three of those gadgets equipped. You're going to absolutely burn through every single opponent you go against. Now, you could use whatever gadgets you want on whichever classes that you want, although I will say I recommend the health gadget very early on while you're playing any of the classes, and later on, after you've leveled them up, using the health gadget on the hunter, where you then focus the boost gadget on Rift Ripper, or even you could use the strike gadget on the Rift Ripper class. The reason why I say this is because the cooldowns on Rift Ripper make her very, very strong, whereas adding health isn't the greatest thing, as you progress throughout with your player, you are going to gain health each level anyway, so adding health perks isn't the best of ideas when you could be getting a lot more out of each gadget that you're using. Let's start talking about other type of combos that we can do with different weapons. Now, I have the metal dual daggers, and this is one of my favorite weapons. That's because I have flashing speed, which gives me a faster charge time for my secondary attack, and I also have max stamina on here stacked to 175%. Now, I'm not 100% sure that we're going to get this to stack. However, if I had any type of gadgets here that would give me increased stamina, this would make this combo even better. So that's what I'm talking about when I say it's not about the weapon, it's more about the runes and how they stack together. Just because you don't have one specific rune doesn't mean you don't have other ones that work really well together. So when it comes to using these daggers, I can do my secondary attack very quickly. I have very good regeneration on my stamina, as well as 2 stamina bars, which ultimately means that I could do my secondary attack even more often. And being able to spam this attack is going to put out the most amount of damage with these daggers. So having these runes on here is really, really nice. Another nice combo that I have going is on my rare plasma pistols, which has plasma cooling, which is resistance to overheating, chain lightning 3, and then crit chance 4. Now, the way that this plasma pistol setup works is really well because of the combination of those runes. Chain lightning will work as long as I do a critical hit, but I also have crit chance 4 on there, which means that I'm more than likely to hit a crit chance with that rune applied. Not just that, but with the overheating that comes with that other rune, because it doesn't overheat my weapon now, I have an infinite amount of ammo in here to shoot, and I never have to stop with the overheat. So all three of these runes work really well together, because I can just sit here and shoot at enemies non-stop and have all three runes kicking in constantly against any enemies that I'm fighting. Now, this is where where playing expeditions gets pretty complicated, but in my opinion, more fun. On my Ruby Warhammer, I have superior healing as well as the last combo I just talked about with crit chance and chain lightning. Now, how could we use this hammer and make it just a little bit better? Outside of the visual bug, we are taking a look at Rift Ripper here, and because we have superior healing on this hammer, that means that I could now use this hammer when I'm playing and actually focus more on healing. So I'm going through here and doing all of my abilities over, and anything that's going to talk about giving heals, I'm going to stack onto my player. Once I've used all of my healing upgrades, I can then go through and start applying different things to help with those heals, such as being able to use that ability a little bit faster, and even adding a few damage runes on there as well, because I still have my critical hit and I also will have my chain lightning. But my main focus is my healing powers. It doesn't mean that I'm not able to do good damage with Rift Ripper, I'm just playing more so into this hammer that I received from one of my drops. So just because you get a weapon and you don't think that it's great because maybe it doesn't have all of that ability power, doesn't mean that you can't use it in a different way in the game. A lot of people sleep on the hunter build, and that's because when you take a look at the class, every single ability that you have is more of helping your teammates out than it is yourself. You're not using these abilities to do damage to these players, however, you're using them to increase the damage output that you and your teammates can do. Your bullseye blade is going to mark them, which means you could do more damage. So what does that mean for us? Well, we have to build around that. So these gem dual daggers that I have are perfect because I don't need ability power, but what I need is things that's going to help me as a player. So I have resistance 4, which gives me bonus armor. I have critical chance hit as well as chain lightning, and conditioning, which gives me better run speed and jump height on defeating a foe. All 4 of those combo pretty well together because I could do a critical chance hit, which then turns into chain lightning, which then gives me better rate of speed. Now I also have these plasma pistols, which aren't bad either. Now they do come with ability damage, which is the one flaw while using hunter. However, I do have rapid fire, which means that I'm shooting a little bit faster. I have an ultimate cooldown on my critical hits, and then a critical heal where I'm going to get healed 65 HP for every critical hit that I do, which is very, very nice. Now, as far as the gems that I recommend here, I don't think that a booster gadget with armor is the worst thing in the world, but I definitely want to add some health gadgets on there as well because that's going to make this class really, really good. This new game mode is so much fun. It's so complicated, but it's so much fun, and I can't wait to see what else comes out when the next few updates release for it. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Let me know what weapons and gadgets you're using down in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, guys, this was Crafty, and I'm out. Peace. Help me reach 50,000 subscribers by pressing that sub button in the top right. And if you guys haven't already, check out that video in the top left. YouTube thinks that you'll like it a lot. Peace.